straight to activities for today. So I have a little PowerPoint presentation or a slide to make use of. So, but before I go to that, I don't really know much about these the purpose of the program, but there are things before we go into the LinkedIn. To my co-host, I want to ask some questions. First, I want to really know what are the audience after? What do you want to know as an audience? What do you want to know? Do you want to know how to make use of LinkedIn, or do you want to understand marketing itself? Because LinkedIn to me is just more of a platform. But understanding LinkedIn on its own cannot guarantee you effective marketing or sales results. What is going to guarantee you effective marketing or sales result is going to be your understanding of the subject matter, marketing, sales, then before the use of the tool or the platform called LinkedIn. So with that in mind, so I'll run you through some little aspects of, I will share my screen with you and show you some aspects of, I'll show you some aspects of marketing first, then before we go into LinkedIn properly. So I don't know if you could all see my screen. So these are some of the things I have on ground: LinkedIn content for LinkedIn ad, understanding the LinkedIn ad campaign manager, targeting, budgeting, value-based selling, ideal content for LinkedIn ads. So those are some of the things I want to run through in course of the training today. But before I do that, like I asked earlier, sorry, I think several pop up on my screen. So I will stop sharing first and go back to fix that. Okay, so. I think I'm logging in 2 different browsers, so it's causing me some. So, all right, so I think I'm back now. So now I move back to the PowerPoint presentation. So now let's go straight to the point. Like I said before we go into understanding LinkedIn, I would like to run you through some little aspects of what sales and what is marketing and so on, what it is. Because the essence of marketing, there is a system of marketing. That is what we need to understand first before we begin to use tools. There is an analogy I always state that if you understand how to use a mechanical tool, let's say a screwdriver, a spanner, very well, you know how to use the tool, but that does not going to make you a good mechanic. That I know how to use screwdriver does not mean I'm a good mechanic. So the same thing applies, that I know how to use LinkedIn does not mean I will get effective results from LinkedIn. So that is why I'm going to run you through this section first. So with that in mind, so I go straight to the point. So first, I would like to explain a little bit of marketing. So here I have say marketing encompasses all activities that help spark interest in your business. Marketers use marketing research and analysis to understand the interests of potential customers. So the first thing about understanding or using LinkedIn is that you need to understand marketing. Then marketing personnel are responsible for running campaigns to attract people to the business, brand, or services. So you need to understand that the objective of running or using LinkedIn, you need to have an objective. And it is not just one objective that is available on LinkedIn. There are several objectives available for you. So the question is, which of these objectives are you after? It is the understanding of the objective that will determine the results you get out of LinkedIn. So the next is sales. Sales is a term used to describe the activities that leads to selling of goods or services. Sales people are responsible for managing relationship with potential client, prospect, and providing a solution for prospecting that eventually leads to a sale. So the first stage of marketing of a sale is prospecting. So the question is, what do you want to use LinkedIn for? Do you want to use LinkedIn for the purpose of prospecting, or what exactly do you want to make use of LinkedIn for? So your understanding of what LinkedIn, what you want to achieve from LinkedIn. So if you know how to use the tool, I tell you how to run ad, but you don't know how to prospect, you don't know how to nurture, there is still going to be issue in you making sales. So that is one thing we must understand. And I'll also try to point out this before we proceed. LinkedIn is a social media platform. LinkedIn is not an e-commerce platform. That is one thing I want us to understand. What I mean by LinkedIn not being an e-commerce platform, I see a lot of business people or advertisers, online marketers, entrepreneurs try to market on social media platform, and they market like people who are selling on social who are selling on the e-commerce platform. That should not be the approach. The approach for, so if I am on Jumia, I'm on Konga, I want to advertise my product, it's an e-commerce platform, so I can start using buy now, buy now, buy now, those terms comes in. But if I'm coming to social media platform to run ad, I need to understand that the purpose of my audience is not for them to come buy. They are not there on social media because they are looking for something to buy. They are there to socialize. They are there to build one thing or the other. There is an intent behind them being on a social media platform. And until I meet that intent, there is no way I would be able to get them to buy from me. So that is the aspect of sales. So then we now move to lead, because these are terms you need to understand in course of your use of LinkedIn. So what is a lead? A lead is any person who indicates interest in a company's product or services in some way, shape, or form. So so when I'm running some ad, I would need to generate lead. The essence of running ad, the first stage is generation of lead. And how would they indicate their interest? They could indicate interest by watching my video. They could indicate interest by following me. They could indicate interest by liking my post in one form or the other, maybe filling a form. All this would ensure that they either have interest in the product, on the service, or in the brand that I'm managing myself. So you need to understand this for you to be able to make effective result or make effective use of LinkedIn. Then you also need to understand another point which we call the marketing qualified. There are different types of leads. So which of the lead are you looking at to get? There's what we call the market qualified lead. So when we talk about market qualified lead, we are talking about leads, people who are interested in, okay, just for instance, now this training that is ongoing, a lot of persons come into this training because maybe it is free. Okay, so I saw an ad, a perfect example. Let's say I have something on my blog telling you that fill this form and gain access to my marketing videos. The reason why I signed up or I gave you my email is to get a marketing video, not to buy a product from you. So you need to understand my purpose, my intent of filling that your form. So if you get my email and you give me the marketing video, you still have a lot of work to do, from moving me from a market qualified lead to becoming a sales qualified lead. So you need to understand this aspect also for you to be able to get effective results on your marketing activities. I will always say this to most marketers or business persons. The reason why some digital marketers get results from their marketing activities is not because they understand the platform better than you. The reason why they get better results is the offline understanding of the process of buying. That is what gives them better results. So we need to understand that aspect also. So in after marketing qualified lead, the next thing you have is your sales qualified lead. Okay, so when we talk about sales qualified lead, say lead contacts who taken action that indicate their interest in becoming a paying customer. For instance, you run an ad and I ask you, how much is it? What is the duration? What is the time? Let's say this program was advertised online and it's a paid training. And I shut you up to ask you questions. How much is this program? How long will it take? What am I going to get out of it? I begin to ask about the value that I stand to benefit from the training. I begin to ask you about the pricing, the order of payment, mode of payment. In that case, I'm interested in buying a product from you. So you need to understand the conversation that goes. So that is sometimes a lot of statistics people pay attention to aren't really necessary. Okay, some of us pay attention to somebody like my post, somebody, yes, those statistics to an extent are important, but they are not really the most important statistics you should pay attention to. When you get people shutting you up on your social media handle, you need to pay attention to some certain words, some certain terms that they make use of. So the next is product qualified lead. Okay, product qualified lead run better on the software industry. Like as a software developer that I am also, one of the things I do is when we bring up a new software, we give you the demo version. Now, after making use of the demo version, you would want to maybe make inquiry about how can I get the full version? Okay, I'll finish using my trial period for the free version. I would like to subscribe to the new one. What will it take? What are the pricing and so on? At that one, those are product qualified. I'm interested about a particular product that you are offering. Okay, so those are some things we need to understand about when we begin to mention things like leads and so on. Okay, so understanding of what lead is very essential in your marketing activities. Is there any question before I proceed to the next section? Because I'll be taking it in bits so we don't get everything jam-packed. Is there any question anyone would like to ask? If you have any question, please make the question known on the comment section, okay? And I will
have a question, please.
Okay.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I am Emmanuel by name. I want to find out at what point do you indicate the customer as in at what point do the customer being willing to buy, because he has seen you from your marketing qualified lead, and now he moved down to the sales qualified lead, but yet he has not yet started indicating interest, as in the person is indicating interest, but the person is not willing yet to pay the money. But at what point do we have high traffic? Is it in the sales or the product qualified lead?
Okay, in that case, I will use this to explain a particular section which I still have in the slide. Okay, I believe some of us must have come across the word marketing funnel before. Okay, and in the marketing funnel, I always recommend the 3-layer marketing funnel.
Marketing funnel.
And in the three-layer marketing funnel, we have a section which we call the cold lead. Okay, the cold lead those are people who have not known you before. Like some of you here now, you don't know me before. Okay, you just got to hear about me and what I do, maybe based on what the host has introduced me as. That is what you know me as. Okay, so at that point in time, there are still things I need to consider before I decide. I might need the product or the service. Remember, you are not the only one that is selling this thing. So I would need to want to find out, is this the ideal person to buy from? Okay. So, and how do you position yourself as the ideal person is very essential. Most of the time when people come into our funnel, they are at the cold lead level. Most of the time, the reason why we are not selling is because we are only selling or advertising to cold lead. After the cold lead section, there's what we call the warm lead. Those are people, they've known about you, they've seen your marketing this thing before. You are not new to them, okay? At that point, you have been able to, what you use to determine is you use your content to be able to drive their decision, okay? So at that point where they are the warm lead, they are ready to take action to an extent, okay? The content you use to address the person who is a warm lead, address the cold lead is different from the content you use to address the person who is at the at the warm lead level. And after the warm lead, you get to the bottom part, which we call the hot lead. Okay, so those are the 3 layers in your sales funnel. So when I'm advertising to people who have made inquiries before, I could tell them buy now. I could give them discount. When I'm doing a promo, I could give them discount. So if I'm running a promo, let's say I have 1,000 people in my funnel, my promo will not be all for every 1,000 persons in my funnel. I will want to target those who have maybe made inquiry before, maybe have not bought due to prices, have not bought due to one reason or the other. Okay, so those are the people I will target with my promo. So every package you have, there is always content used to address everyone at different levels of your funnel. I don't know if that answers your question, Mr. Emmanuel.
Yes, sir. Thank you very
All
much.
right, thank you. Is there any
But we would like to
question
know
before?
more about. But we would like to know about how this platform whereby we can be able to get this funnel, people in this funnel, and how to be able to interact with them at each stage.
Okay, maybe I should proceed if time permits us to get to that.
So I just maybe because I know that you have a program, and by 11:30 we are to go for the Google. I want to suggest that I know because I know you have some other trainings that I know that people that be of benefits. So like all these questions, enough. I know you have enough time for that, so that we can maximize the time we have here. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
We'll probably talk about the other. I know you have I know the series of trainings that people can benefit from. So I think that will help in this regards. Thanks, sir.
All right. So the next section, which is I want, before you do any form of marketing, you need to understand this. This is one question I always ask in most of my seminars. Are human being logical or emotional? So you need to understand this, because that would determine the message, the content, because what actually drives marketing online, whether social media or any other platform, whether Google and so on, one of the things that determine results in your marketing is the type of content you use. And before you determine that type of content, you need to understand the human being you are relating with. Because we are online, a lot of people market as though I'm dealing with a computer, I'm dealing with a robot. No, you are still, there is always have in mind that there is a human being behind what you do, okay? So if I'm to ask this question now, are human being logical or emotional? I know we will get different answers, different opinions to this. This is one thing you will need to think of, okay? Human beings are made up of three categories, okay? Human being is made up of three components. The law of three stages is the three stages of mental and social development. It is the coordination of feelings, thoughts, and action in individual and society. Okay, so I will just rush into each of the stages. Now, the first stage of every human being is the emotional stage. The emotions and impulse which prompt us, okay? Now, we also have another which we call the thought, which are undertaken in service of our feelings, but also helps to govern them. Now, the next is action. Now, the problem why most of us don't sell online is because this is where we run to. While we want to do our marketing, we focus on getting the customer in taking action. But before customers take action, you should have been able to connect with them from the point of feeling, connect with them from the point of thoughts. Then if you take them to the point of action, it is easy for them to take your action. Now, for instance, the organizers of this program have organized this program. Let's say this program is free now. And at the end of this program, they decide maybe you got value from this free training. And when they come up to say they want to hold a paid training, because you got value from it the first time, you would want to take action, to make payment, to register for a much more higher payment and so on. So, but before you connect with people from the point of action, try to connect with them from the point of emotions. That is one thing you need to know. The emotional part, until I connect with you emotionally, it will be difficult for me to be able to buy your product. Our time will not permit me to go into a lot of information that will really help you understand this. A perfect example, I'll just give you one example. Perfect example is the example of Apple computers, okay? when we talk about Apple computers, one of the things a lot of people, when you ask people who use Apple phones and other Apple devices, the reasons they give to you are reasons that are logical. But the point is that people buy for emotional reasons, but give logical reasons to back up their buying decision. I don't know if we got that. If I'm buying because of feelings and emotions. But if somebody asks me, why did you buy this thing? I will give the person a logical reason. Okay, so because it is strange for me to tell somebody that the reason why I bought an iPhone, or let's say the reason why I bought an iPhone is because I want to belong to a certain class, but that is majorly the reason why a lot of people use Apple products. There is a sense of class in them or a sense of belonging in them when they use Apple products. So for those of you who are salespeople in the house, you might want to take a lot of time to study the marketing principles behind every Apple product or as the company, the brand name Apple. You really understand this section of what I mean by this. Okay, so when you are marketing, so the feelings part are for your audience, for your leads who are at the cold lead level. Then the thoughts section are for the people who are the warm lead level. Then the action is for people who are the hot lead level. So these are the different types of content. So when you are creating some content, the first stage is emotional connection kind of content. And after that, you create content that give them reasons why because at that point they are thinking, okay, how can this thing help me solve this problem that I have? So when you understand that, okay, how can this thing, so you begin to position your product. This product, how can it help this person? The how to. So when you are understanding all the how about your product and services, because every product has, you think of your product from the point of the customer view and think, okay, how can this product help this customer solve this particular problem or challenge? Okay, so when you think of it from the point of how, then finally come to action point, which is where you start describing your products. At that point, it becomes easy for you to get the customer to take action. So time will not, this is almost the same thing. So this is my marketing principle. I take it from the point of why, how, and what. Okay, but most of the time, if I say advertise now, you tell me what your product or your services is made up of. That will not make me buy your product. Or some persons will even go, at least will manage to get to how. That will not still give me enough reasons to buy your product. But the right way to market is to start from why. Okay, so you start from why, how, and what, which is purpose of the product, the process of using the product, the process of how you manufacture the product, and so on. All that would help the customer. So when you start explaining what the product is made up of, it is easy for the customer to take action. All right, so that is all I'll be explaining about that section about, okay. So I will now move straight to, sorry, I have a lot on my slide, but I'll start moving to the point of the audience and so on. So this part, after explaining this part, then I'll move straight into LinkedIn properly. So we must know that we are in a society. These, I believe most of us who have passed through the secondary school level, we must have come across this pyramid before. It's a popular pyramid during our secondary school. It's called the Maslow pyramid of needs. Okay, so now the question you need to ask yourself before you advertise, where does your product fall among this section? Is your product a physiological need? Is this a safety need? Is it love and belonging need? Is it esteem, or is it self-actualization need? So until you understand this process very well, then you now look at, okay, I will just explain a little part of it. Let's say I'm in the real estate sector. Let me use real estate because I have a lot of clients in the real estate industry. So let's say I'm in the real estate sector now. Okay, here says physiological need, hair, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, reproduction, and so on. Okay, so real estate looks like it falls here, but real estate does not 100% fall here, because someone who is still lacking food to eat would not have money to buy a house or to build a house, to buy a land, because still trying to survive, because at this basic level, we call it the survivor stage, okay? Then when you go to the safety need, this person is looking for different form of safety. It could be job security, it could be health, it could be one thing or the other, okay? It is at this level, safety need, that is where financial security and so on, there are a lot of security the person on the safety need is looking for. So this person would want to buy property, okay? So people above him would want to buy, but this person already has love and belonging, already has a place to live. He is no longer looking for security anymore. Rather, he would buy, build, and rent to this person who is at the safety need level. Okay, so you need to understand where your product falls in this category. Where is your product for? What does your service for in the Maslow pyramid of need? Understanding this will make it easy for you to be able to run, because in course of running the ad on LinkedIn, you have to create an audience. So you need to ask yourself, where do my audience fall? Is someone who is still lacking water, food, and so on, won't be living in Lekki, because I'm in Lagos now. So someone who lacks some of these basic food can't be living in Lekki. So if I'm targeting Lekki, I'm just wasting my time. Someone who is a managerial level in the Lekki, a managerial level, let's say in a Nigerian bank, would want to maybe live around the Lekki houses, because most management staff in some banks, they have what do you call it? What I call housing allowance, which is almost 4 million and above. Okay, so these persons, and someone who has 4 million to rent a house, where would he rent his house? Will he be renting his house in the likes of Shangotedo or Epe, or will he be renting his house in the likes of Lekki? And where are the type of houses people who, where let's say someone who is who have a 4 or 5 million naira to use for a house would want to live around the Lekki houses, because you see a 3-4 bedroom apartment for within that price. So if I'm running an ad, whether on LinkedIn or any platform, want to target the Lekki houses, specific estates in the Lekki houses, those are the people I would want to target. So this is something you need to understand to make your work easy for you in course of running your ad. So I'll come back to the group now. Any question before I start? I move straight to LinkedIn. Questions?
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
I want to just find out like you talk about real estate now, you are trying to give an instance of real estate. If someone should have kind of, at what point should someone get his targets in these stages you have just mentioned, the self-actualization, the esteem, the love and belongings? Is it from the safety need above or within that safety need?
Okay, the first thing is that you already know the need of this person, okay? So if, for instance, I'm saying my need currently is love, intimacy, family, sense of connection, love and belonging, which falls under love and belonging, okay?
Yeah.
This person, for you to be thinking about family and so on, you are already stable to an extent financially, okay? So, and these are the class of people who would fall around the people who can live around the Lekki houses, okay? Now, this class of people, so when I'm targeting them, I'm not telling them to come buy a land and live there or build a house and live there. That is not the message my content will not be addressing, come buy property. The common places where people are buying property now in Lagos is the likes of Lekki, okay? So someone who is already living in Lekki, VI, Ikoyi, and so on, if you use the content of buy, build, and live, they will not listen to you. But if you use the content of buy, build, resell, or rent out, because you are trying to create extra source of income for them, they will listen to you easily. Okay. So that is the point I'm trying to find. So from this love and belonging above, real estate can fall in from love and belonging above. But this person who's at the safety level could still buy property from you, but this is the person that wants to live in the house. He's buying to become a landlord. So when you tell the person, you need to become a landlord, he can understand that language. Stop paying rent, he can understand that language. But this one is no longer understanding that language anymore.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, so without further ado, so I'll just explain a little about LinkedIn, then I move to a practical section about it. So let me share my screen again. Okay, so LinkedIn. Okay, so I'll just give you some information about LinkedIn first. Sorry. Okay, what is LinkedIn marketing? So LinkedIn marketing is the process of using LinkedIn to make connection, generate lead, improve brand awareness, foster business relationship and partnership, share content, and drive traffic to your website. So this is the summary of what you're supposed to be doing on your LinkedIn marketing activities. Okay, so the next thing is we'll talk about LinkedIn ads, as in running ad on LinkedIn. What does it mean? LinkedIn ads is the name, as the name implies, are paid advertisement shared on LinkedIn. There are three main types of LinkedIn ad available that can be adopted to any company objective or goal. Okay, so these are things you need to understand. Number one, you need to know that it is paid. So because there are a lot of salespeople I've come across, they have the mentality that anything on social media is supposed to be free. Please, if you have the free mentality, don't even go to LinkedIn, because one, LinkedIn is even expensive. All right, so that is one thing you need to note about LinkedIn. So the next thing you should know about LinkedIn is some of the statistics, okay? LinkedIn lead conversion rates are 3 times higher than other major platforms, including Google and Facebook, okay? So one thing you need to know is that if I run ad on LinkedIn, I meet the right customer, the possibility of making sales is higher, 3 times higher than any other platform currently. So that is one thing you need to know. That is another reason why you should use LinkedIn. LinkedIn data shows that the most engaging LinkedIn posts are published on Wednesday. So today is the best time to publish content on LinkedIn. Wednesdays, okay? Okay, sorry, today's Thursday. So yesterday was the best time you could have published any post on LinkedIn. And the time when people get engaged on LinkedIn more is 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. and noon. While on Thursday, if you want to get, is from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Then on Friday at 9 a.m., these statistics is a statistic that brought out by Sprouts Social, is a company that has a software for running or managing your social media platform. From their statistic of everything, they've been able to come out with timing or the best time to post on LinkedIn each of these days. Okay, so Monday is not the best time to post, Tuesday is not the best time to post, but Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Friday are the best time to post on LinkedIn. So these just some statistics you need to have. Now, the next thing is 57% of LinkedIn users are male, and 43 of them are female. That's another thing you need to. Why 34% of those are between 34% of those people are between the ages of 25 to 30. Okay, so these are things you need to know the age grade of people that dominate LinkedIn. So when you are making your post, you know the kind of people you are expecting to engage with. Okay, those age 30 to 49 are 30-something%. Okay, this is also a survey by Research Center, Pew Research Center. Okay, 4 out of 5 LinkedIn members drive business decisions at their companies. That is another vital thing you need to know about LinkedIn. These people drive business decisions, so you need to understand all of this. So if I want to target B2B kind of marketing, LinkedIn is actually the best platform to do so, because the decision makers in those companies are there on LinkedIn. So the next is the LinkedIn lead conversion. Okay, I talked about this already. Okay, it's my thing and so on. All right, at this point, advertising for LinkedIn with LinkedIn ads. Okay, LinkedIn ad are the name. Okay, I talked about this already. Furthermore, it gives each company to analyze whether or not LinkedIn ads are actually the right medium for achieving their goals. Okay. Okay, these are types of ads you should run on LinkedIn. I'll still run through this. Sponsored content. So we have what's called sponsored content. This is a type of ad you run on LinkedIn. We have sponsored email. These are the type of mail that deliver, or advert that delivers to the email of your target audience. So they are not just going to see it on their this thing, you are going to see on their email, which is on LinkedIn. Okay, so you could run ad that delivers to inbox on LinkedIn. So there are also others also have the text and so on. Then, so okay, these I will do practical. This is like talking about the practical process of running an ad on LinkedIn. So at this point, I'm going to LinkedIn platform. I believe everyone here already have a LinkedIn account already, okay? I believe everyone here has a LinkedIn account already. So I will share my screen again. Okay, so is there any question before I go to my LinkedIn interface properly? So we'll run through it, then call it a day. Okay, so I'm currently on LinkedIn, all right? So what are the things you need to note before having or have before you need to run an ad on LinkedIn, right? One of the things you need to have is that you need to have a business page. Just like Facebook, you create a page. For you to run an ad on LinkedIn, you need to have a page also. So how do you create a page on LinkedIn? Because I'll be focusing on the business aspect of LinkedIn. So I won't be explaining your profile and so on. I assume everyone already have a profile and they can they can use it properly. Okay, so when I come to LinkedIn, preferably on your system, not on a mobile device, because you might not see this work aspect on some mobile devices. When I click on work, that's for me to create a page. I click on work, I scroll down to create a company page, and I click that, I wait for it to load. When it loads, it gives me option, small business, medium, large, showcase page, educational institution. So you pick which of them best suits your business, okay? So you could either choose this first one, or choose if you are selling products, like even real estate, maybe you are selling shoes, you are selling clothing, and so on. This is the one you should use, all right? But if you are doing services, more of service kind of stuff, you can use either of these ones, all right? So but this is when your employee are less than 200, right? This is when your employee are more than 200, okay? So that is what you should decide. But when you are selling physical products like land, houses, shoes, bags, and so on, the showcase page is what you should use. It's just a recent introduction during the COVID-19. That was when this was actually introduced, all right? So all you need to do, click on, as I'm using this first one. So I click, then I give it a name, and training, then I'm just giving it any name at this point. I can also decide how I want the name to be. If I have a website, I input the website information, my website address, the industry I belong to. For those of you in real estate, you pick real estate. For those of you are into the fashion and apparel, you choose fashion apparel. So you choose depending on your nature of business. That's what will determine what you choose. System to be hanging. Then the company type. So under company type, you choose, okay, sorry, I bypassed one here. You have a section where you're going to choose the size of your company here. All right, so you choose where you belong to here, what size. Then you move down and choose the type of company. Is it the public? Is it the self-owned? And so you specified. Then you come to your logo. So if you have a logo, but if you don't have a logo, use your personal profile picture, okay? And your profile picture, if you're using a profile picture, make sure it's a profile picture you snap by yourself, not selfie. Make sure that it is something that was snapped with a professional camera, and you must be positioned at the center. And also, you should not have any busy background. It should be a plain background. That is if you are using your profile. Then if you are using your logo, make sure the logo is professionally designed. Don't go pick a cartoon or something to use as a logo because you are not a cartoon. Then the size of the logo or the picture you are using should be 300 by 300 pixels. Then you can just have maybe your slogan or anything you use in doing that. Then click on verify, then create the account. I won't be creating another account because I have several accounts already. So I'll go back to pick from one of my existing business pages. That's what I'll use. Okay, so I think I am an admin to this person. I just created this page for us some weeks ago. We're trying to use it to market our business. All right, so by the time you create the page, this is what you see. All right, it's plain like this. This is where to take you to. So the next thing, you start updating every session of Okay, like here now, it's asking for cover photo. I think I have a cover photo I've designed for her already. So I'll go to my cover photos section, look for it. Juliet. Oh, I don't have it here for now. Right, so I'll just, but the idea is you pick a cover photo. Let me look if I'll see any other one in there. Okay, this is an example of a cover a page that has been designed. So this is not for her, but I'll just show you how to use it. I'll remove it later. So when it loads completely, you can drag and position it properly, right? So position it, make sure if you are adding your picture, make sure your face is showing, and so on. Make sure the logo is properly positioned, and so on. That is what you should do. So these are then at the end, you click on save, and it's saved for me. All right. So that is how you add your cover photo. Then you impute. Then you can also make people admin, just like Facebook page. You can add extra admin. You can see admin section here, manage admin. So you click on admin. You click on add. Then you type the name of the person. But the person must be on LinkedIn for you to be able to add him as an admin. Then when you add the person, you specify what role you want. You want to give the person a super admin, content admin, or analyst. You specify that, click on save. Then the person will get a notification inviting him to become an admin on your page. Okay, so that is about that section. Go back to home. Then another thing you need to take note of again is this section about content. Okay, what are the kind of content you want to be seen? Because the content trend, so you always learn to pick content that relates to your industry. Okay, so like we have here all content, so you can pick like she's in real estate sector. So what I did, I checked real estate for her. You can also even choose advertisement for her. So now content within that industry are the things that we should always, so you should know the content that are trending more this period. So from there, she could even create her own content out of this existing content you have here. So this is another way of knowing what to post, be in your industry, what are people posting currently. So if you want to get that, make sure you check this out, right? So when you finish doing that, next you go to analytics. Though for her now, there's nothing to really analyze because the page is still being built, all right? So though the page is still new, but she already have about 27 page views, 28 page views, and 10 unique visitors, and so on, all right? So you can see she's already getting some level of traction, all right? So you need to note these also. So top job functions, real estate administrators. So well, these are the kind of people we set as target that want to target for her. And look at the days where she has had the highest reach. This is on Tuesday, April 6th, and so on. And this will also help you. You can see that most of the people came through mobile. So this would help you to know that, okay, if you're designing anything, let's make sure that the thing fits to something that can be viewed on mobile, knowing that most of the people you are getting are coming through for through mobile access and so on. All right. So activities. There is no really activity because we've not started posting anything for her. They are still trying to build the brand from the start. So that is how to create your page. And after you've created the page, you post something. The next thing is I go back to work. While I'm on the page, I go back to work. Then the next thing is I need to click on advertise. So I scroll through and okay, advertise is, look at me here. So look at my mouse pointer, so you can see advertise here. So I click on advertise, it will open on a new tab. So what that means is I need to use a system to be able to achieve that, right? So the next thing is I won't use any of these. These are ad accounts. I don't know if most of us have knowledge of Facebook. Facebook is easier to use to explain LinkedIn, okay? So I would, this is actually like my training account. So what I'll do here now is I'll create a new ad account. The ad account, that is where you specify the currency, the page you want to advertise with, and so on, okay? So like here now, I'll use this opportunity to create an ad account for her. So Juliet, so I say house of Juliet, right? So like or some of you must have known, there is no option for Naira here. So you have to leave it on the dollar option. Okay, so then the next thing is what page do I want to advertise this ad account with. Okay, so I can always view as a member here, copy the link to her page, come back here, paste it here. Or if you can remember it off and you can see it pops up here, all right? Okay, so it has popped up here, so I say save, and it's saved for me. So the ad account has been created. Then after creating ad account, what next do you need to do to run ad? So after creating ad account, you have what we call the campaign group, all right? So LinkedIn automatically creates a default campaign group for you, which is default one, all right? But nothing is there for now, but I'm not going to use that one. But it's not a crime if you choose to use it. So, but I always prefer creating mine. So when I get here, I can choose to say I want to create a campaign group. You can see here, create campaign group. So I click on create campaign group. Then I give it a name also. Let's say if I was to be selling shoes, bags, and so on, I might want to separate them. Like some campaign is for lead generation. I want to group all my campaign that regards to lead generation for maybe shoes, if I want to generate. But the truth is, when it comes to those little items where the money is not too much, there's very little need for generating lead, all right? Okay, so like, but when it comes to big purchase like real estate, I can choose to start doing lead generation and so on. So, but since this page is about real estate, so I'll use it for real estate. I can say, let's say houses for houses or lead for houses, leads for houses. Okay. Then when do I want it to start? I can choose to fix a date, or you can just leave it the way it is. You can choose to put it on draft if you don't want to use it now, right? So you can put a start date and an end date, but for now, just leave it the way it is, and I click on save. So you can see that it has been created for me. So the
trainer with my guy, and today I'll be your trainer. Google Digital Skills Project is a
I can barely hear you. Please talking, please. Someone was talking. Is that for the entire house?
Oh, yeah, sorry, it's the Google session I've started.
Oh, well, so what do we do?
That's we're actually supposed, like I said, we're actually supposed to, they set it to start 11:30. We're taking like 5-10 minutes from their time. I know that your schedule tomorrow.
Yeah, I have trainings tomorrow and next tomorrow. My days are already booked for tomorrow and Friday and Saturday already.
Okay, we are planning a makeover session by next week, 21st to 25. I don't know if you patch, but it's just, I'm just thinking. Or I know you have some meetings, or whichever way we can do it so that we can. Because our interest is that people are able to benefit from all this.
Yeah, the thing is, before you specify this section, you would have spoken to your facilitators how the length of time it takes to facilitate thorough understanding of these platforms. That would have been easy. Instead of having several sections in one day, it might just be 1 or 2 sections in a day.
Yes.
That is how you would have followed your sections.
Yes.
So what do we do?
Okay, we're actually to round up this session now. But if you don't mind, if you can just give us 1 hour during that session next week, we'll appreciate that.
Well, I can't guarantee that, like I said, because my timing get books ahead of time. Which I will have to talk to my my personal assistant to know if there is still any free section. Because on my own end, I'm having a paid training that is coming up as well. So
yes, I know. All right, no problem, sir. But let the probably can have the house can have your contact so that they can be able to, further discussion, further stuff they probably need to learn or to know.
Yeah, okay, so there is, I don't know, you can see what is displayed on the screen. This is my business line, 070-6655-7788. You can always send me message through those lines. I prefer messages before call. So when I have an appointment with you for call, then you now call me. So if you want to communicate with me, you send message, WhatsApp message to this number. Then after then, you can then contact me. We can now book a time to talk on phone if the need arises. Yes. So I believe everyone must have gotten that number already. So.
All right. Thank you so very much, sir. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the way we I know that I just saw it and we brought you and you honor this. We really appreciate it, sir. So, right, everybody that attend this session, we want to thank you. Please, let's begin to move forward to the Google session now. The Google session has started already and it's talking about, like continuations, talking about digital marketing stuff. So, thank you for your time. We'll see you there. Thank you, sir. God bless you, sir.
You're welcome.